was even a thing. Candles and wicks, online hidden licks. Candles and wicks, I can't get enough of this shit. Candles and wicks, going long for a touchdown. See you when I touch down, we gon' get it in. Candles and wicks, online hidden licks. Candles and wicks, I can't get enough of this shit. Candles and wicks, going long for a touchdown. See you when I touch down, we gon' get it in. I'm making trades with my eyes closed. I bet you wonder what I do behind closed doors. Buy low, say a high, that's my motto. I'm trying to make $1 million for the market close. I know you probably thinking, damn, how he do that? Lost it, got it right back. Tripled my account and did it all without no contact. Social distancing, that's a whole nother story, dawg. Jesus get the glory, dawg. I don't want no props, I just want the profit. Put it in my pocket, bullets like a rocket. Want it, I'ma copy, cause I'm plugged in like a socket. Market cipher is the key, I advise you follow me. I can show you how I trade, everybody finna eat. Bitch, I'm crypto face, please don't make me catch a case. Pull up in that Rari 488, don't think you wanna race. That pink slip at. Hit the gas, make your motherfucking neck jerk. Didn't brace, now your motherfucking neck hurt. Try to tell you don't fuck with the fuck around. Little baddie with a red leather miniskirt. Candles and wicks, online hidden licks. Candles and wicks, I can't get enough of this shit. Candles and wicks, going long for a touchdown. See you when I touch down, we gon' get it in. Candles and wicks, online hidden licks. Candles and wicks, I can't get enough of this shit. Candles and wicks, going long for a touchdown. See you when I touch down, we gon' get it in. Are you ready to become a successful trader so that you can live the life of your dreams? If the answer is yes, go to marketcyphertrading.com. Tell them Crypto Face sent you. And we out.
I see y'all keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay. I see y'all keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay.
I've been building up my long bitch. Straight crypto, multi-million rich. And I'm fucking with my main clique. Tether Federal Reserve, bitch. Straight fucking with the ICOs. I'm in Davos doing crypto blows. GDP ain't a thing to me. Crypto naughty, one more currency. You think you're safe? Think again. Your money's gone. One click away. Pump and dump, get your hopes up, fuck you right. Bought supply, then dumped it all. Coin daddy don't give no fucks.
I see y'all keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay. I see y'all keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay.
I pump and dump, then I short. Oh, well, in the balls on my court. I play this game like a sport. Sick games and opposite resorts. From the book, now I'm up in your wallet and taking your funds. And on the run, got 99 problems, but crypto ain't one. Taking your bitch to feel bad for you, son. Private info, private keys, throwing arrow offline overseas. Flow with Quinn Daddy over beats, making moves like Nova G. Love it when you call me Big Chill, rocking chin chill off that red pill. Looking at crypto like it's real, while y'all blows in the wind like a pinwheel.
T-Ho, tales from the blockchain. Coin Daddy, tales from the blockchain.
I see y'all keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere, making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay. I see y'all keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere, making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay.
Coin Daddy. Straight out of Broad Street. Young Satoshi.
I see you working with the coins, yeah. Into ledgers, make a trader spend his coins, yeah. He wrecks, I send the SEC, yeah. They mad, gonna take over the world, yeah. You mad, gonna rehab on the K, yeah. We just wait, saw with Bitcoin's right at first, yeah. Then alts, new Federal Reserve, yeah. Big plans, global settlements, the biz, yeah. Get rich, sending treasures in the street, yeah. It's real neat, full node in the sheets, yeah. On fleek, got control of my keys, yeah. No doubt, Jeff Sprecher ain't got shit, yeah. Private keys, you try to pull a trick, yeah. Get the clicks, claim risk management, yeah. No chance, Kelly run the little biz, yeah. Easy hits, take over all the money, yeah. Institution wins, the coin you look good once you back those coins up. You a fine little ledger once you back those coins up. You call me Coin Daddy when you back those coins up. Ice, who you playing with, back those coins up. Your coin you look good once you back those coins up. You a spicy little blockchain once you back those coins up. You call me Coin Daddy when you back those coins up. Hypothecated once you back those coins up. Bitcoin you look good once you back those coins up. You a fine financial product once you back those coins up. You wanna mess with killing long, yeah, you wrong, yeah. Gonna make the institution sweat, yeah. Get wrecked, NYSE not enough, yeah. You need more and you beat the lightning to the floor, yeah. Oh no, said you settle with the coins, yeah. Not sure, need to see some paperwork, yeah. When moon, now the ink is coming soon, yeah. Full bloom after Bitcoin opens doors, yeah. So true, power couple making moves, yeah. So cute, Jeff and Kelly making deals, yeah. Real soon, try to take over the world, yeah. No clue, Bitcoin nobody can stop it, yeah. Woo woo, I'ma keep my storage cold, yeah. So true, only deal with proper coins, yeah. No IOUs, don't try to pull a fast one. Bad move, but we'll fuck your ass goodbye. Toodaloo, Bitcoin you look good once you back those coins up. You a fine little ledger once you back those coins up. You call me Coin Daddy when you back those coins up. Ice, who you playing with, back those coins up. Bitcoin you look good once you back those coins up. You a spicy little blockchain once you back those coins up. You call me Coin Daddy when you back those coins up. Hypothecated once you back those coins up. Bitcoin you look good once you back those coins up. You a fine financial product once you back those coins up.
Coin Daddy. Straight out of Broad Street. Young Satoshi.
Scared money don't make no money. A scared man don't make no money. Scared money don't make no money. A scared man don't make no money. Scared money don't make no money. A scared man don't make no money. Scared money don't make no money. A scared man don't make no money. Scared money don't make no money. Don't be scared, make a move. A scared man don't make no money. You ain't got shit to lose. Scared money don't make no money. Go on and put that trade in. A scared man don't make no money. It's time to get paid. You win some, you lose some. But you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Patience is a virtue, finna cash out any day. Stacked it to the ceiling, now I park my cars in valet. Move, bitch, get out the way. Charging that shit like a bull. Call me Scotty Pippen, cause these pips, they keep my wallet full. Bank account on overflow, now I'm down in Tokyo. Me and Flopping Groper stung the market like a Scorpio. Bullish like a rodeo, feel like I hit the lottery. Crypto face, man, already making history. Yep, you gon' remember me from trading pairs perfectly. My faith in market cipher B, double hump diversity. While you trade nervously, adding to your misery. Gonna take some notes, better yet, why don't you follow me? Stay tuned, I'ma let you see how I rake these millies in. Say this video and make a playlist, call it Bullish Trends. Scared money don't make no money. Don't be scared. lose a stack, you might never make it back. Law of attraction, what you think is what you gonna track. All at the casino, scared gambling, now you just got cracked. Can't go home broke, heard you told your girl you got jacked. Butterflies in your stomach every time you wanna spin. Half scared, half courageous, man, the two don't blend. All or nothing, pick a side, let your heart be your guide. Heard you was indecisive, need to learn to decide. Scared money don't make no money, don't be scared, make a move. Scared man don't make no money, you ain't got shit to lose. Scared money don't make no money, go on and put that trade in. Scared man don't make no money, it's time to get paid. Scared money don't make no money, don't be scared, make a move. Scared man don't make no money, you ain't got shit to lose. Scared money don't make no money, go on and put that trade in. Scared man don't make no money, it's time to get paid, get paid. CryptoFace, crypto.com.
That's a hex flex, making money, yeah, we going by the X's. Yeah, hex, all we know about is excess. Turn a Fiat on ramp to an expressway. That's a hex flex, hey, that's a hex flex. Making money, yeah, we going by the X's. Yeah, hex, all we know about is excess. Turn a Fiat on ramp to an expressway. That's a hex flex, hey, yeah, we up next. Shut up with that scam mess, cause we up in hex. They showed a lot of disrespect, now they can cut the check. They had a lot to say, well now they can't say nothing else. They had some gains, things changed, now it's nothing left. Hey, money went into some means, ended up and left. Hex is up and to the right, they up and to the left. Hey, looking up and down, everything around wreck. Should've dropped 100 when you found Hex. Looking for some yield, they can't find that shit nowhere. Hex in full bull mode, they messing with no bears. Live on the moon, it's too bad you can't go there. And sacrifice phase going on, you should go there. Took a couple weeks for me to make a couple bucks, and only took a couple months for me to make a double up. Only took a couple years for a couple thousand X. About to throw a couple thousand and whatever coming next. That's a hex flex, making money, yeah, we growing by the X's. Yeah,
let's do this math real quick. So when I go on Twitter and I see people buying McLarens, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, boats, houses and shit, that's fake. Those aren't real. Or are those real? What's that got to do with this? Well, you're telling me that that can't happen because the price is going to go to zero. But I see it with my eyes. I don't get it.
Stop being a panic seller. I'm John McAfee, and I approve this message.
Every 10 seconds, someone panic sells at a new all-time low. Yeah, don't be this guy.
I seen the market dropping, I don't think it's stopping. The voices in my head keep yelling. I guess I'm panic selling. Guess I'm panic selling.
Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Every time the market crashing, why you always belling? You be selling all your shit like you garage selling. Always catching nails, dog, you need to check the spelling. Panic, 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 panic. I thought I told you about the dip. Every time the market dropping, why you always jumping shit? You be buying at the highs and you never stick to script. Then you selling at the lows, dog, you wasn't built for this.
I seen the market dropping, I don't think it's stopping. The voices in my head keep yelling. I guess I'm panic selling.
Panic, 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 panic.
Guess I'm panic selling. All I see is weekends, weekends. Fuck, I need some money for the weekend.
Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling?
All I see is weekends, weekends. Fuck, I need some money for the weekend.
Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Pussy. Panic sell, crypto crashing, no one laughing when it drops. Need to stop pulling stocks just to make up for the loss. I'm losing my mind, didn't see the signs. Crypto going down, got me feeling like a clown. What the fuck's happened now? Can't buy another round. I took a $1 million out, had a panic sell. What the hell I'm gonna do now? What the fuck
market dropping. I don't think it's stopping. The voices in my head keep yelling. I guess I'm panic selling.
Panic, 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 panic.
Guess I'm panic selling. All I see is weekends, weekends. Fuck, I need some money for the weekend.
Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling?
And all I see is weekends, weekends. But fuck, I need some money for the weekend.
Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Why you panic selling? Pussy.
I seen the market dropping. I don't think it's stopping. The voices in my head keep yelling. I guess I'm panic selling. Guess I'm panic selling.
You don't know. Look up while we. Why can't I hear it? I was say, why can't I hear the song? I want to look up. What's it called? Not Duck Duck. That's what it was called.
Dear Charlie, I DM'd you, but you still ain't tweeting. I left myself my email and my username at the Litecoin meeting. I bought some coin back in summer. It was a runner. I swear I must have 10x my stack or something. Sometimes I regret shitcoins the moment that I buy them. But Litecoin silver to Bitcoin's gold, that shit is awesome. I'm so fucking soaked, I'm talking to Satoshi Light. I think you're forced to shit, man. I think you're hella tight. If I have a son, guess what I'ma name him? I'ma name him Charlie. Cause crypto has some troubles, man. The community needs you badly. I know you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I even punch out my friend who called your coin a scam. I got a treasure full of Litecoin cause I trust you, man. I like that shit you playing with Atomic Swap, that shit is rad. Anyways, I hope you get this, man. Tweet me back or G-chat me. Respect you badly at Real Coin Daddy. Dear Charlie, you're treating me like crud. I ain't mad. I just think it's fucked up that you're spreading all this FUD. If you wanted to do the right thing about insider information, maybe verify it before blasting it out across the nation. That China shit hurt Bitcoin, man. It's only 10 years old. It grew all the way to 5K for you to just say hold. That's pretty shitty, man. You caused that fucking dump. And now you're defending yourself on Twitter like a crypto Donald Trump. I'm still holding, although I think I may no longer like you. Remember when we met in SF and you said that if I tweeted you, you would retweet me back? See, I'm just like you in a way. I need attention too. I don't even have a shitcoin, so I need it more than you. I can relate to what you laid out in your white paper. All that awesome stuff about so much more that's planned for later. I'm bag holding everything else, so Litecoin helps when I'm depressed. I even wear a t-shirt with LTC across the chest. Sometimes I dox myself to see how much it bleeds. It's like adrenaline, the pain is such a sudden rush for me. See, the use case for your coin is real, so I respect you when you shill it. My girlfriend's jealous because I talk about you 24/7. But she don't know you like I know you, Charlie, she's a bitch. She don't know what it's like for people like us who wanna be rich. You gotta call me, man, I'll be the biggest investor you'll ever lose. Sincerely yours, Coin Daddy. P.S. We should be together too. I don't want to create a conflict of interest cause it's wrong. I'm about to sell my coins, I've already closed my long. You sold all your coins at the top, now the shit's going down in flames. I can't believe you exit scammed your holders and then ran away. So this is my vlog I'm sending you, I hope you see it. I'm logged into GDAX now, I'm about to sell my stash, I fucking mean it. Hey Charlie, I want revenge, you dare me to trade? You know that song about Rick Astley, never gonna give you up? About the guy making a bunch of bullshit promises with no substance, and then everyone else spread that shit around for nothing? That's kinda how this is, man, I was never gonna let you down. Now it's too late, I'm selling thousands of dollars worth at a loss, and all I wanted was a crummy liter of a coin. Who knew that as a professional you could be so fucking annoying? I loved you, Charlie, we could have all been rich, think about it. We could have taken over silver, man, but with the world read about it. You ruined it now, I hope your coin goes to zero and you dream about it. And when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you and you can't breathe without me. See, Charlie, shut up, kid, I'm trying to talk. Hey, Charlie, that's Vitalik screaming in the trunk. But I didn't tweet about it, I just tied him up. See, I ain't like you, cause if he's not around anymore, then the coin will die too. Well, gotta go, I can see the SEC in the rear view. Oh shit, wait, how am I supposed to upload this to YouTube?
Charlie Lee just sold and wondering why I bought Litecoin at all. The morning first drove down the price, so now I can't sell it all. Even if I could, I would still just hold with my limit on the wall to remind me that I've got these bags, I've got these bags.
Dear Coin Daddy, I meant to write you, but I just been busy. You said your stack was 10x, how far in the profit now is it? Governments are coming soon, but there's no way they're gonna win this. And you know I had to sell my Litecoins, man, it was a conflict of interest. I'm sorry I didn't tweet your newest song, I must have missed it. I love the siphoning, dude, your music is the business. But what's the shit you said about you like to dox yourself too? That shit is dangerous, this is real money, dude. You got some issues, Coin Daddy, you shouldn't be trading. Litecoin's gonna go sky high, every coin is worth saving. Meant to be together, what the hell, Coin Daddy, you sick? That's in that Eminem song, are you plagiarizing this? Just think about it, if I get busted, Litecoin really dies. I can't keep working on it without severing my ties. I just hope you hold your stash, man, just keep it in your cold wallet. It's gonna pump at least one more time, don't sell until then. Just keep it in your treasure, man, it's for your own protection. If you relax a little, you'll see that this is just a correction. But Coin Daddy, why are you so mad? Try to understand that I do want LTC to rise up bad. I just don't want you to do some crazy shit. I saw this thing on Twitter a couple weeks ago that made me sick. Some dude kidnapped Vitalik and dumped the stack right off a cliff. He kept Vitalik in the trunk and held the keys to his private shit. And in the car they found a cell phone that was logged into GDAX. He sold right at the bottom and he could have made some fat stacks. Oh shit. That was you? Damn.
You still got your boombox? Play something and turn it way up.
I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks, 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 Bitcoin to 100 racks. Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks, 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 Bitcoin to 100 racks. Got rich on crypto, man, so you can't tell me where the money is. Blockchain got me ballin' hard, like I'm Dennis Rodman. This is where crew music, use a flipper, use a dolphin. I just left Miami, but I had a gang of options. I've been going hard lately. I'm the crypto David Goggins. Full speed ahead, man. I don't plan on stopping. I'm logged in, dripping so much sauce. I need a napkin. What's happening? Everything you share don't need.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out. Bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish. Bottomed out, don't ever rise is bearish. Novogratz is bullish. Bitcoin could be at 40,000. Let us go to moon. Bitcoin, please go to moon. going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish. Bottomed out, don't ever rise is bearish.
Barrett calls it 1300.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon. Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out. Bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish. Hey. Bottomed out, don't ever rise is bearish.
Barrett calls it 1300.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon. Stop right there. What up, folks? Your boy MMG Smurf. Let's get learnt today. Today is before we start off the stream and do anything fun. We're gonna get learnt. Oh, Trayvon James is live.
Well, I have, you know what? You probably way worse than me. I'm not really doing that many transactions on ETH. Actually, I might do like a couple transactions a week. Hold up.
What do you got to say?
Alright. Thanks. Alright, so Hex on the weekly chart.
Bro, all these new people getting into crypto talking about SHIB.
You know what I mean? It's in
Doge.
moving averages. We're on the bottom end of the moving averages too.
It's like, bro, how did you entirely miss the point of Bitcoin and Ethereum and other big coins? It's interesting.
So we need to make a move up to versus 13. We need to get to 32 cents ASAP.
I think people are just greedy. I mean, he's gonna be streaming for a while. I'm not gonna watch all that. Hold on. Or is that watch later? This is the watch later, right? Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to roll through the pomp shit today. Oops. They published Otis is that Mortal Kombat. I'll say, let's see what Chico got to say. Speed it up.
$500. Now, just over a week ago, we were over $11,000 higher. November 10th, BTC was sitting at around $68,500. To the low of $57,500, we have dipped by over 16%. So is this just a short-term dip, or is it something more? Something to be really worried about? Well, let's look at both sides of that coin. 2017 bull run had many similarities since July. The charts were looking almost exactly the same. I also showed there was a November dip in 2017's bull run. The price
it used to do like 20%.
$7,500 down to $5,900, which was a loss of 21%. So in reality, this 16% dip we've seen isn't out of the ordinary. It actually fits perfectly, which we can confirm even further by going to 2013. There was a November dip then too. Pulling out the price chart, the early November peak was $358. And the 2013 November dip of 12%, you would get an average November fall of 16.5%. So as of yesterday's fall, we were basically spot on with the average November fall over the last two bull cycles. Yes, it was just a small dip before they pumped and went ballistic. It all comes down to one of the biggest cryptocurrency lending platforms out there, BlockFi. And what's happening with them? They have lit the fuse. Just 2 days ago, it was announced that the SEC opened a probe into BlockFi, as well as a dozen other cryptocurrency companies. From the article, it says, sources told Bloomberg that this is a part of the SEC's investigation to determine whether BlockFi accounts are similar to securities. If so, these products must be registered with the agency. The SEC has not accused BlockFi of any wrongdoing thus far. Has BlockFi engaged in any wrongdoing? Well, Sir Bitfinex, who has been all over the Tether case, has also been looking at BlockFi. He tweeted on the day the news came out about the SEC, BlockFi is in a bad position due to their GBTC trade. They took your Bitcoins, deposited to Grayscale to get GBTC, hoping to sell the GBTC for more money after the lockout expired. This trade blew up in their face, and GBTC is negative to Bitcoin. They can't return your BTC. Can we trust what Bitfinex says? Well, there's a website, which used to be called ditchblockfi.com, as it's been taken down, but we can use the Wayback Machine to pull it back up. And the website detailed the trade. The site said, we understand that BlockFi takes clients' funds and creates GBTC shares with them in order to try and sell these shares at a premium to the price of BTC. They currently promote a 6% annualized interest rate to depositors depositing BTC. So if their return from creating GBTC, waiting 6 months and then selling GBTC for BTC is less than 8%, 6% for the interest they owe, and 2% to cover the grayscale fees per year, BlockFi loses money. Currently, GBTC is trading at negative 7.89% and was recently as low as negative 15%. And below is a supposed internal BlockFi document they sent to investors that explains the trade. According to this, we believe that they have at least $1.8 billion of their own customer assets in this trade. And they show the supposed internal document from BlockFi, which detailed the trade, even including the projected revenues from the trade, assuming the premiums held at the December 2020 premium levels. Well, they didn't. The Wayback Machine snapshot of ditchblockfi.com we can see was taken in March of 2021. Then GBTC went as low as negative 15%. But when the screen grab was taken, GBTC was at a negative 7.89%. What is it like today? Well, check now white charts, we can see that the premium hasn't recovered. It got as low as negative 20% in May of this year, once again lower than negative 20% in October, and as of yesterday was negative 30%. Blow up in their face. Well, I can't be the judge, jury, and executioner, but now that I've doomed and gloomed you, let's switch gears and bring some crypto hype. I'm talking about GameStop and their NFT platform, which ties into a certain cryptocurrency. But before we get into that, it's time for a sponsor. Time pump and dump incentives. Introducing the mind. Number one, you're gonna want mechanics are subject to change from a where users are encouraged to walk 8 million and their APY booming to over 25,000% through their two primary reward incentives, the double mechanism number one, and number two, the Bollinger Band Booster. In this phase 3, they swapped the smart token for the smarter token and introduced a new yield farm experience.
Bro, he's not actually talking about one of these damn.
Like smart buy and
Wow.
fee. And coming in phase 4 and beyond is a meme coin, an ohm fork, and if you want to play in this game, come in.
These type of tokens are horrible. Why would he even be talking about
On the
this?
final prize of phase 10, rumored to be an 8 to 9
There's been a bunch of those tokens.
So,
They
Smartcoin has
just
created a lot of excitement and
fuck
garnered
up.
the attention of all of DeFi. Suzu, CEO of 3 Arrows Capital, called the project one of the most fascinating social experience I've seen in
Bro,
recent of all of DeFi.
this dude just
Suzu, CEO
photoshopped
of
the
3
shit out of
Arrows
this. Really? Really? Okay, man.
Called the project one of the most fascinating social experience I've seen in recent times. And though the team is anon to the public, the project has been audited by Paladin and Rug Doc. The team is fully KYC verified. The team is composed of former blockchain founders, Harvard professor, top devs, a AAA game architect. It is a social experiment on the surface, but it's also game theory, it's Web3 education and learning, it's DeFi, and a yield financially life-changing. Their announcements are coming soon, but most importantly, join their Telegram, start interacting. NFT platform and the crypto who may be involved with it. That crypto is one I've been covering for a long time. It's titled Proof that the actual GME GitHub leak was legit, and that crypto is Loopring. Now going to the Loopring subreddit, there was a post titled Proof that the actual GME GitHub leak was legit. Diving into the post, it was posted by a user present Salt, which breaks it all down, and I've included the post in the description to delete the whole repository, which by the way, judging the before.
So he's like, get Loopring. He's always promoting Loopring.
Hi, I'm Max Kaiser. Hey, fix the money. Fix the world. Please.
Yes, because if we fix the money, we wouldn't have many of the problems that we...
Alright, the Pomp Show. We're going to start off with some Mufasa, probably.
Today. We're going to have a short day today. We're going to have some Fridays.
Oh,
Fridays are still in full effect.
Joe.
We're going to get out of school a little early. Will's coming on. Will's going to hit us with the on-chain
No,
metrics. Tell us
Anthony.
all about what is going on with the price. We've got from 69,000 to do is hit the line. They're being sold like hotcakes. Everyone wants them for the Christmas season. They're great. They're super comfortable. Get whatever size you need, and we'll ship them out to you. So go to thebestbusinessshow.com. Make sure to get yourself options. Go for it. Alright, so Will's going to be coming on at 11:15. Oh, we just passed 250 likes. Let's get it. Alright, what I want you to do is drop in the chat your Twitter name, obviously, and what you're going to be doing this weekend. Drop in the chat your
Can
Twitter
you
name.
do
And
that?
be
Just
careful, alright?
put those characters in there with like different eyes and that'd be fun.
I had no idea that was going to be played until about 2 minutes ago, by the way. It's an amazing video. All right, I'm the big winner here. They're coming in like crazy, so hang on a second. Let me see someone who's actually doing something cool this weekend. Oh, look. He said he's got a softball game, movies with the parents, and a date with his girlfriend. You're winning. Let me screenshot your name real quick, and you're going to get $100. Again, keep smashing the like button. What we're going to do is Will's going to come on in about 10 minutes now, and then we're going to go through and we are going to do a bigger giveaway at the end of the show. But again, thebestbusinessshow.com, buy the merch, SoFi.com/pop. Make sure you join the Diamond Hands Club, and then at the end of the show, we're going to do a bigger giveaway. For a long period of time now, 69 of their investment portfolios. She makes up to 5%. Most institutional investors will do. These people have billions and trillions of dollars. They're sitting on the
See
sidelines.
what's
Whether
new
they're
in the
investing in something else, will just drive how
TTD,
gains
since
allocate to
I
an
did
asset class.
comment
Bitcoin
from there
should
the
be
other
an
day.
asset class. So if we look at the Bitcoin pullback here, we almost breached 60. We're very close to 60. We're at $69,000 in Bitcoin about a week ago, 7 to 10 days ago. And we've been crashing down, they're saying. Now we're down below 60. Will's going to tell us what mechanics of being on-chain looks like. But ultimately what Kathy's saying is don't be concerned. This isn't a concern at all. She's allocated Bitcoin. A bunch of other people, corporations, entities, and countries are also, and she's saying this is not something to be concerned about. And the general way I think about this is it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. What are we seeing over the last few years? The people that were the early adopters of this, whether it was corporations putting on their balance sheet, whether it was billionaires, rich individuals, or institutional investors, countries now with El Salvador, anyone that has been buying a material amount of Bitcoin for an extended period of time, and the whole key, right? And you don't have to buy billions and billions and billions of dollars. You're just getting off zero. And what we have found, and these people will tell you, all the people that have already done this, right? The same people I just mentioned, all of those people will say one thing: that 1, 2, 3, 4% allocation that they gave to Bitcoin has outperformed everything else. It's outperformed everything else because while Bitcoin is volatile, that's true. That's true. When they say it is volatile, that is true. There's volatility in the market. The volatility can also existing. We know how much is held by certain entities and wallets. We know how much has apparently been lost forever. We know how much has been within 90 days. The on-chain metrics which Kathy mentioned has become an important part of this because you can see exactly, almost in real time, what is going on in the Bitcoin network. We're going to be able to see people that come in and buy billions and billions and billions of dollars of Bitcoin. And what they're going to do is they're going to move these off exchanges, they're going to purchase them, and they're going to store them. And we're going to be able to tell them in real time. This is a transparent market. It's unlike anything we've ever had before. We don't know what's happening in the stock market most of the time. Hey, we have a quarterly earnings report. We hear a little. What is your friend in this situation, right? We're watching the government see record inflation. The economist had an article this morning or tweet that said no one saw it coming. Literally everyone saw it coming. Everyone saw inflation coming.
What is this?
over the last few days, where he thinks we are in the midst of this bull market, how long he thinks it will continue, what prices he still thinks we can reach, and so on. So I think Kathy is right. I think we're going to see some explosion here as more institutional investors adopt it. I think any institutions that can join in and get in now is smart. It is an asymmetric bet. It's going to return anything. The volatility is your friend in this situation, right? We're watching the government see record inflation. The Economist had an article this morning or a tweet that said no one saw it coming. Literally everyone saw it coming. Everyone saw it coming.
Bro, yeah, seriously. When they say shit like this consistently, nobody saw this inflation coming. It's like, bro, it's been years in the making. It was literally the most obvious fucking call for multiple years. As you watched it unfold, you were like, why did that just change? That's not the average. Oh, so we're just above the average now? Oh, we just gonna be above the average every year. Oh, normal people just don't pay attention to that type of shit. So they're just losing money, especially if they don't ask for an increase in salary every year. Oh, it's less than every year now. Oh, we're gonna increase quantitative easing because the market was going down. Oh, market back up. But what happened if something bad happens? Something bad happens within less than a year. Oh shit. Like, it was, no. Dude, they're silly for saying that type of shit. Like, what their issue, like, oh my goodness. When I hear that type of stuff, I'm just like, I feel like China is actually telling their citizens, in some senses, a lot more preparation type shit for downfalls in the economy and stuff like that. They're just more realistic with them. Maybe they're like, you guys can handle hardships or something, and Americans can't, I guess. Because we just be lying straight up to people's face. Meanwhile, they're like, stockpile these goods so you don't have to spend so much in the grocery store the next few. Like, yeah, I got cans, get those cans early. That's what they're telling their people. We're not telling our people shit.
The volatility is your friend in this situation, right? We're watching the government see record inflation. The Economist
We'll lie to them and be like, it's transitory. Don't worry about it.
You introduced 40% of the money supply of new money into the economy over the last 12 to 24 months. And The Economist, a publication that prides itself on evidence of producing financial evidence and analysis, is literally saying that no one saw it coming. Hey, the people with laser eyes on Twitter saw it coming. They were very loud about it. They've been screaming about it for the last 12 to 24 months, and they told you that this is what was going to happen. And what we've seen is Bitcoin has reacted to that. Bitcoin has appreciated in price. And that is the only evidence you need in my mind, is that Bitcoin versus gold has drastically outperformed in the face of historic inflation. So
what he said, bro, we have been screaming about it for the last 12 to 24 months. Screaming about it. People like, yeah, silly. What were you talking about with all that stuff? The shit that you're currently talking about and acting like is a big surprise. You had over a year to prepare. Like, after you saw it start to happen. You saw it start to happen. It was amazing. And you still didn't move. Like,
people that adopt it sooner than later will be the biggest winners. They will benefit the most from this, and everyone else will be left on the sidelines and miss out on record price appreciation. ETFs might eventually get approved, spot ETFs, and then we'll see other institutions come to the market. As more vehicles get approved, as more corporations adopt it, as more nation states make it tender, as more billionaires and retail investors continue to buy it, as the asset becomes more scarce, as the circulating supply continues to dwindle, the price has to go up. If demand continues to increase and supply is fixed. We know this. We'll see it play out in real time. I think the next few years are going to be fascinating, but we'll see. I'm pumped to have Will on here in a few minutes. I'm going to see if Will is available now, and we'll get him on here and we'll see if he can. All right, Will. People are freaking out. All right, people are saying, hey, look, Bitcoin's down from 69. We had an all-time high, whatever, 7 to 10 days ago. It's below 60. So just on a general, before we dig into the charts and the on-chain analytics, like, where are you at from a sentiment perspective?
Yeah, I mean, generally, like, Twitter sentiment can be faded. It's kind of plus EV. Yeah, I mean, right now, Twitter sentiment's absolute garbage. You go on there, everyone's like depressed and stuff, and you zoom out and you look and we're at, I'm not fully surprised to see this move that we've seen because we were prepared for this. And some of the stuff we'll get into in a second. We've been kind of due for a reset on some things like funding and SOBR, and this is stuff that we've talked about for a while. So, not all surprising per se.
So basically, the way I read that chart is if it breaks out to one way or the other, at least the last 3 or 4 times it has gone the other way. It's basically like a pump fake or a head fake, and it goes the other way, which people were excited to see the first time, and then it went opposite again, right? So that's the way to read that chart. And then, Will, so let's move on to the perpetual funding rate. What do you got here?
Yeah, I think we talk about this every week. So funding is essentially based on the premium or the delta, which just means the difference between the market price, so whatever the perp is trading at on an exchange, as well as kind of the weighted the average spot price, which is called the index price. So you look at all the major spot exchanges and give them kind of this weighted average by volume. And so funding is essentially the mechanism that pegs the perp to the actual weighted spot price. And so funding can have some signal because it's essentially tracking the aggression of the perp traders relative to the spot, as we just mentioned. Generally speaking, prolonged positive funding is kind of a signal of caution, although you can see that for longer than you'd expect. Like earlier this year, we had prolonged positive funding for 2 or 3 months. Where funding really has actionable signal, in my opinion, is when we see price going one direction, meanwhile funding is going the opposite. And so this happened on Tuesday of this week. We saw price was grinding down. Meanwhile, we had rising funding, as you can see right between November 15th and November 16th on the bottom axis there. You'll see funding was rising as price was grinding down. So that wasn't all entirely surprising to see us kind of get this little wipeout. But in general, this move has been more driven by spot than like a leverage wipeout. I think massive liquidity on these perpetual swap exchanges and we have massive leverage compared to anything in traditional finance. But sometimes, believe it or not, some people actually sell their Bitcoin, and that's what we've seen over the last couple of days, especially from Bitfinex. We've seen Bitfinex trading at a discount to several other major exchanges. And so overall, I think a lot of that selling pressure has come from Bitfinex. But in general, you've just seen heavy spot selling paired with some liquidations. During the end of last year, beginning of this year, every time we kind of came back down and retested that one breath phase, it's spent output profit ratio. But here, what we're looking at is just the aggregate state of profit unrealized. We're just looking at short-term holders in specific. As we mentioned, we can look at things based off of that cutoff that Glassstone has 155 days to look at short-term versus long-term holders. And so what we see is that, like, historically, the short-term holder cost basis or realized price or VWAP. Sorry, I know I'm throwing like 3 different things in there. It's all saying the same thing. They've all kind of served as served as kind of the support band.
I mean, if that's what he's drawing out, bro, I just hope that would make this a double top.
in bull market. So if you go back and look at 2017, you can see these like 4 different retests where we came back down during a correction and tested this and bounced really nicely off of that, as well as once we broke below that in
Oh, it's
2017, that would have
2017.
been time to be cautious. And then once you had this kind of failed retest from the underside, that would have been your confirmation that we've kind of broken the trend. And so it's similar to sobering. And a lot of things what you can look at is when you break below, some people will say, okay, that's enough signal for me to change my market outlook, right? Because we haven't broken below this throughout the entire bull market. Now we've clearly broken trend. But some people who are a bit more conservative look for, okay, do we have confirmation? And then they'll base their opinion off of once we get that failed underside retest. But you would have, if you did that, let's say you sold based off of this, you would have kind of gotten out at the same price point. You just basically sold at the dead cat instead of as soon as it broke. I personally stand in the camp of I would be looking for kind of this failed underside retest because I think kind of it's really difficult to time the exact top. You kind of have these kind of red flags and caution signals that I think you can be given, but the last week or two of parabolic moves are where the largest portion of that move are made, and so it's really difficult to like time that perfectly. But where I do think it's reasonable to kind of to look for an exit is on that dead cat move. And so this is just one of example of that where we had that failed retest from the underside of that band, and then as we headed into the 2018 bear market, we had like 3 failed retests from the underside of that. Once we finally broke above, that's when we came out of the bottom of the bear, heading into that mini 2019. We had like 3. An objective as possible. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the on-chain analytics, right? And the metrics, which is everyone just saying, hey, let's remove the emotion from this. Let's look what the data says. Let's look what the numbers say. So let's dig into it. Let's look at the future perpetual funding rate chart start. What's going on there? Yeah, you mind if we just back up and touch on this first chart real quick, just the top price chart? I just want to point out something real quick. So first of all, like what we had talked about 2 weeks ago was we were entering this volatility squeeze, which is highlighted by this kind of yellow shaded area. We were smack dab in the middle of these 2 Bollinger Bands, which are essentially looking at the standard deviation from price. And what we said was that in the last 3 squeezes we had, we faked out in one direction,
true bit.
and so this is actually the fourth time.
I don't know about
so
that.
As we were kind of breaking out above that top band.
Look, show me true bit. Why? Tell me why.
And I sent out a tweet and basically said, is it happening again? And of course, everyone was like, no, we're going to the moon, blah, blah, blah. But, it's like, you look and see kind of patterns repeat. And so based off of that, I was kind of cautious as we broke above this upper Bollinger Band, and we did, in fact, get a 4th fake out. Is when we see price going one direction, meanwhile funding is going the opposite. And so this happened on Tuesday of this week. We saw price was grinding down. Meanwhile, we had rising funding, as you can see, right between November 15th and November 16th on the bottom axis there. You'll see funding was rising as price was grinding down. So that wasn't all entirely surprising to see us kind of get this little wipeout. But in general, this move has been more driven by spot than like a leverage, kind of leverage wipeout. I think since funding has kind of like been more widespread in terms of knowledge on Twitter or whatever like platform, people generally now have been like blaming like the leverage for every single down move, which isn't always the case. Oftentimes it's the case in the short term because we have massive liquidity on these perpetual swap exchanges and we have massive leverage compared to anything in traditional finance. But sometimes, believe it or not, some people actually sell their Bitcoin, and that's what we've seen over the last couple. Bearish trends fade the rallies or underside tests of one. So as you can see, during the end of last year, beginning of this year, every time we kind of came back down, track the amount of capital inflow coming into the market. Bull market, whatever you want to call this. A lot of that was driven by the plus token Ponzi, where they were artificially locking up coins. That's a conversation for another day. But then we had this failed, once we broke low, we had this failed underside retest. So that's where you would become cautious again until we once again broke back above after March 2020. You can see in September last year, we once again bounced off of this, and then broke below heading into May, which would have been time to become cautious as well. And then recently, we bounced back above this, at the end of September. So 2 things. A, notice can hold at least 75% of the coins they take in. So for every 4 coins they take in, they hold at least 3. So you're running the ratio of the highly liquid and liquid guys to the illiquid guys. Essentially what this is in layman's terms, you're running a ratio of the weak to strong hands to kind of get this, what I call supply shock oscillator. So you're tracking where, supply moving to these steady states.
We got a response. Let's see what he says about this true bit. It's the next coin. That's not enough. It was developed by the co-founder of Ethereum. Which co-founder of Ethereum? He quietly launched it in March. It helps scale Ethereum. This file. I mean, there's a lot of things doing that though, fam. That's the only issue with what you just said. I'll copy this name. But there's a lot of tokens scaling Ethereum. There's not just one. There's like they're fighting with a whole bunch of people. Is this on CoinGecko? TrueBit protocol? 31 cents. No market cap known. No supply known. Total supply is insane. It's only been on CoinGecko for, I don't know why they just, maybe it's just a 30-day, I can't see. It doesn't necessarily look bearish at all. It just looks stable as fuck. It looks really stable and like it doesn't necessarily pump with the market. Then is what they kind of, maybe it pumped a little bit because it was down here 26 to 32, little pumps I guess. Nothing compared to most market, and that's probably because it's an Ethereum based coin. Yeah, for those reasons I would say no. Like, where's its blockchain? Let's look at this. What's its Twitter say? How many people they got on their Twitter? I don't know about that, fam. Scalable, trustless, computation. E-server in the cloud. That sounds dope. I mean, it does look like it's very stable. You know. Oh yeah. Well, let's look at this. I got all these comments on each one of these, right? So I don't want to click on that. Let's look at this one. Yeah, I'm like, don't see that. Quite literally the opposite. Coin is more utility than any other coin. Interest rate. Looks scammy. Looks scammy. People are saying they're developing super slow. Yeah. I'm gonna have to wait to see some type of pump action. Prediction is to 300 USD. That sounds like quite the prediction. Look, right now it would cost around 300 USD to buy a decent bag of this shit. So unless it was on Binance Smart Chain or something like that, and it was less than 30 cents, because it's just not the right type of play for this market. It doesn't move enough. It's just historically does not move enough. Look at this. Look at these moves. Like, just historically trying to show. I'm like, are you part of this project or something like that, or you just like this project? Like, these moves are not very big moves. 50 cents to 42 cents is like one of the biggest moves lately, and it's a downward move. 50 cents all the way down to 25 cents. A 50% move was his biggest move. Have we seen anything to the upside that big? 28 to 37, not quite. That was the biggest move that came at the August to September pump. That September pump. I don't know. And that September pump came from Ethereum bullishness. That was ETH bullish time. If I was gonna guesstimate where that helps market sentiment, they could have had some shit going on, but like that's helping ETH market sentiment time around that time. Yeah, I'm just looking at it, bro, and like look, because this is like in comparison a token that I bought for a similar price. I bought Revo around 23 cents. I don't know, 4 months ago. It is now $1.49, up 11% on the day. So the last token that we looked at has only done 11% upward like once or twice, like in the, I don't know. This token is up 121% in 7 days. I've been holding this for a while. 330% in 30 days. Like, in this, I got this for around the same price as that token you're talking about. Like, now, would it be a cool decision? Like, you know, it could be smart to, like, you know, take some of those gains and put them over into something like this. But I'm like, it's just, that thing is just not moving. I would have to see it, like, if I was looking at this and I was going to chart this. Can I get a trading view chart? Yeah. If I was going to chart it, I would want to, let me break this out to 1 year. I would want to see, like, if I was going to draw a diagonal, I would have to draw a diagonal line, like across this thing, and I would have to see it cut out of my diagonal line. So, because it's trending downward, and then I would want to see it trend upward and like break my downward trend. And this one has done that. This is obviously, if I drew a downward trend this way, it's obviously is breaking out. And who knows where the fuck that thing's gonna go. And if I did the other token that we just looked at, and this is just good information for anybody. Let me push max. If I did this one, it would still be on that downward trend. The downward trend is kind of widening, but it hasn't broken out yet. There's been no sign of a breakout yet. And so that's all I'm looking at with that. I'm like, sounds interesting, but I'm hearing a whole bunch of coins say that you can't chart early Bitcoin. Bro, it's been a year of it just going straight down, like since sideways. I wouldn't call this early Bitcoin if it's scaling Ethereum. Like, you're super bullish on this project, bro. Nah, bro, this is an excellent. They don't pump and dump. Kevin, it's not about the chart. You can't. Yeah, I'm like, are you part of this project or something, or like, you're really bullish on it? That's just what I'm looking at. Like, that's just like, I'm like, you know, you got it on my radar. It's on my radar, and so pay attention to it. But like looking at the rest of the market and stuff like that, the type of coins that I'm in, like, I mean, I feel like this is like less bullish than SLP probably. SLP up 4.5% on the day. That token was down on the day? No, 0.5. It just doesn't move very much. Oh, okay. But but SLP, let's check this out. This would have been the first time, and we saw that bullish trend upward. But when does that stop? Oh, that was this summer. And then currently we're in the exact same. So yeah, I would like play around with, if I was gonna make that type of bet, if they put TrueBit on like the Ronin blockchain, is a type of trade that I would go in and out of maybe. And like, oh, let's see which one I can make more money with first. But like, it's on Ethereum. Nah, I'm not gonna check the website. You're not even telling me if you're working for the project. Sounds like you probably work for the project and you don't want to tell me that. And you're paid to market it.
Or are they moving to entities that have a low behavior of selling or history of selling? And so what you see is in bull markets, this trend upwards, the supply is getting locked up. In bear markets, this trend's downward as supply is becoming liquid. And so like you said, this is kind of a leading indicator in two ways. So A, over the summer, this was probably the main metric.
Why so bullish on it?
To call the reversal over the summer, if you will. And so like we had this divergence.
Actually confuses a lot of people.
Yeah. So it's kind of counterintuitive. So whenever you see red, generally you think red is bad, right? Humans think red bad, green good, right? But in terms of this metric, it's actually kind of the opposite, because long-term holders are kind of the smart money in the market. So they kind of buy into weakness. They don't perfectly buy.
Yeah, he's showing. Oh shit! But is the red just starting over?
Absolute pico bottom. They scale into weakness and they scale out into strength. And so you see this behavior between long-term and short-term holders throughout all of Bitcoin's history, throughout every single major rally in Bitcoin's history. Long-term holders have sold, meanwhile short-term speculators have come in and bought their bags the whole way up. And then heading back into the bear market, you see the short-term holders leave, or they age into long-term holders, which by definition is going to decrease the short-term holder supply as they. But just being solely from an on-chain perspective, what you want to look for is just these behaviors. And so tomorrow we could see all of a sudden, I highly doubt this, but we could see all of a sudden a massive distribution in print like we saw in January, right? And it just depends on what we see from these market participants. And I just track the behavior. So it's like we know what behaviors to look for. When those happen, it's hard to say. We can kind of get a gauge as to generally this kind of plays out over two different.
All right.
Annualized value of dormancy. So looking at dormancy, multiplying that by price, and then looking at that times 365, and then we're comparing that to market cap. So essentially we're getting this oscillator of like kind of this broader behavior of how, what's the trend of spending from older.
This would be a triple bottom. 1, 2, 3. And each bottom higher. That would be nice.
Coins in the market. And what we kind of see
is over 3 years though. Or yeah, it is. Wow. Never see it like, well, I guess then the next year should be higher.
This kind of black line that we have here, that threshold has kind of been a really interesting kind of level that this is historically interacted with. You see like in 2013, we broke below that at the end of 2013. We broke back above the line in 2016, heading into 2016. That was confirmation we're coming out of the bear market. This served as support in the 2017 bull run. Once we broke below, that was confirmation we kind of had broken bull market structure. We bounced off of this in 2019 during that mini bull run, as well as earlier this year. And then as well, you see at the bottom, we kind of have this green area where that's generally been a good time to kind of accumulate or scale in some buys at the bottom of the bear. So we kind of got this bounce just above that threshold where, it was a great time to accumulate historically. We got a bounce right above that over summer. And now we're just kind of hovering in this kind of neutral area where we're not quite fully at the bottom. So like the asymmetry isn't quite, isn't insanely skewed, but I think it's still there in the sense that you still have a lot of runway to go before you kind of approach this kind of overheated area. Whether you want to say that that's at the black line or above, which occurred in 2013, 2017, but even if you want to make the argument that, okay, well, we topped out in 2019 and earlier this year at the black line, we're still below halfway between that and the accumulation zone. So no matter how you want to kind of dice it up, we're still kind of far from this exuberant signature or overheated level, if you will.
Gotcha. All right, Will. So I know I really appreciate everyone in chat. Certainly appreciate you.
So like we'll just continue to follow what the data tells us.
Yeah, I think you have the advantage of removing the emotion from it, right? By looking at these charts all day, which really help.
Dormancy is looking at coin days destroyed, which we just described, and then it's adjusting it for volume. So essentially, you're just getting the raw amount of dormancy just the average age. Send it out in the newsletter every week and watch it for you, but watch the behaviors rather than the timing, because the behaviors don't necessarily have to occur in a specific amount of time. Although perhaps we can kind of get a rough estimate as to how long they've taken historically.
Gotcha. All right, that's helpful. Thank you. Let's check out the last chart, which is dormancy flow. What's going on here?
Yeah, so similarly, above we looked at the long-term holder supply, and so kind of on a similar note to that, we have other on-chain metrics that kind of look at the lifespan of coins that are being spent. So we have coin days destroyed, which are looking at, if you move a coin to a wallet, it stays there for 10 days. We have 10 coin days being created. You then move that coin out of that wallet. Well, now 10 coin days are being destroyed. And then just for some people that may say, well, what if I move a coin to another address, right? That's where Glassnode's entity adjusted version really comes into play, because then you aren't subject to those movements as well. But also you can look at the average spent output lifespan, which is the average age of coins, spent volume age bands, which is looking at the amount of volume coming.
Let me look at this. Just do. He was a dude who was in Bitcoin and Ethereum early on. Bro, that's not enough information. I don't know what the hell. What does that mean? Like the one dude who was with Ethereum early on is still with Ethereum early on. The other dude who was with Ethereum early on is making his own blockchain. Who is this guy? Also, you're being really weird by not answering those questions.
From different age cohorts that's being spent on every given day. And in this case, we're looking at dormancy. These are all things I'm just trying to make the point that these are all different ways that you can look at kind of these lifespan behaviors. And so dormancy is looking at Coinbase destroyed, which we just described.
Who watched that?
Like,
Okay.
like ugly sweater parties or something. People like have all kinds.
I'm gonna go into this portion.
What's going on, guys? So guys, in today's video, Boo Finance is launching on Phantom? No. They're launching on Avalanche. Boo 5 is an exciting DeFi
Yeah,
project
Famo.
with Avalanche.
I can't do it.
Boo Finance is bringing a lot of things
It's
to
on
the
it's on the
table.
ETH. It's just too
On your
expensive.
radar, I wanted to bring it to you guys first, right?
Too expensive, bro.
I think this could be a game changer, guys. So shout out to Boo Finance. And also, a look at our favorite passive income platforms, including our daily drip airdrop, and also our Crusaders of Crypto challenge is tonight on and native or very few pools that are not native, but this is ultimately going to be one of those type of farms that are mostly native play. That's why it's a good opportunity to
Like
get
when you talk about blockchains that are trying to scale Ethereum, here's a blockchain that's helping scale. Like there's so many layer 2 solutions, or I guess I'm like, is this technically no? This is layer 2. Is it technically a layer 1? No, I'm pretty sure it's layer 2. It's got all the right ones. So.
This is something like this now. While the farm isn't out, while the market is going through up and down and getting wrecked and all of that, jumping into this is a prime moment right now, guys. That's what I'm about to show you. So they got innovative tokenomics. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at everything. Fair launch and distribution. So check this out. This is Boo Finance, guys. So Avalanche over everything else. So we chose an Avalanche since it offers the fastest speed and cheapest gas cost out of any truly decentralized blockchain on the market. So this is something that they're going to have, guys. That's going to be for single asset staking tokens, such as XO.
What about Phantom?
Limited number of users. Going to be a situation where we got great tokenomics over here, guys. Check this out. So Boo Farm is snafu. So okay, we'll conduct internal and external audits, right? Before releasing the dApps inside of the Boo 5 platform, Frostbite is a project manager for Boo 5.
Avalanche is like connected with like traditional finance though.
To bring value to Avalanche. So we've also hired known software engineers that have previously worked with popular DeFi protocols as well as Penguin Finance with Lydia. Old Avalanche video, you guys can check that out. But they have a farm pool here paired up with some Avalanche. All the way over there, man. Let's keep it moving. You, me, your girlfriend, and your family. We're all ghosts to the traditional finance system, Wall Street, and government, blah, blah, blah. Ghosts, we don't care, we say F you, okay, to the establishment. That's what I'm talking about. It's not our people over here. We built our own financial system instead, one that doesn't rely on lobbying or mass inflation, right? One to benefit of everyone, not those with money printers. So Boo Finance is building a new system that doesn't care who you are, where you come from, or how much money you have in town. We were built on that. Remember, if you're new to Watertown is a civilization, a group, a collective, a conglomerate of people who gather together in a post-apocalyptic setting to be able to survive the digital age or survive the age that they were from. So that's what Watertown is. Make sure you guys join the Telegram, join the Discord, links are in the description. Join the community of us together conquering and dominating cryptocurrency, right? Well, great art over here. Wow, excellent. Good job. Initial sale. Okay, so they had a Penguin launchpad. We missed that. I didn't get involved in that. I'm mad I missed that. So good though. Boo 5 distribution. Yield farm. The Cauldron accepts many different tokens such as LP tokens, IP5, XJO, etc. So no need to track where all your users PNG, Joe, AVAX, and Lydia, remember that's a partner, and other generated rewards to market by Boo 5. Driving prices higher. The purchase Boo 5 is then used to reward Boo 5. Holders and stakers got kins. Your wish has come true. You can add P5 Boo 5, P5 PMG, the Cauldron, and it will automatically stake each deposited LP token in its respective yield generating strategy to generate an even higher APY. There will be dozens of different tokens supported, right? So that's great for partnerships. This unique model will revolutionize. Hint, like the Matter Farm is going to do the greatest farm ever made. The Cauldron does not let a single dollar go to waste. You can deposit AVAX ETH. Oh, we could probably borrow some ideas from here. With the Cauldron, right? You can deposit AVAX ETH from Pangolian or to Joe AVAX from Trader Joe. The Cauldron does not care. It will use the LP tokens to generate PNG, Joe, and Sushi rewards. Guys, so this is going to be the new thing now, right? Being able to stake in a platform, then that platform is going to utilize the rewards that you're putting on the platform to earn more rewards on the back end, and then that's going to create positive price action. That's why I believe that buying the token in this case is going to be bullish, right? For those of you who are part of my squad out there, Watertown Conglomerate, Drip Squad, Matter Farm, etc., this is going to run a similar mechanics to how Matter Farm is going to run, right? Except something similar, which is bullish, man. You know what I'm saying? The rewards will then be converted to Boo 5, which will be distributed according to the decisions of the Boo Council. So it's also acting as a governance token. We're going to read about that. Without a token to hedge against inflation, early believers of a cryptocurrency may find themselves diluted through the massive amounts of inflation experienced by many coins. That's what happens, right, in these farms. Having lived that ourselves, we know how annoying that can be. This means that even under the theoretical scenario of zero Boo 5 being sold or bought by ghosts, the Boo 5 price would still be growing higher. Why? Since the Cauldron is consistently producing PNG, Joe, AVAX, and Sushi rewards by staking those tokens it receives. So no matter what, guys, even if there's no people buying the token, the token's still going to have this buy pressure because of everybody staking on the platform. So it's a foolproof plan in theory, right? So 100% of which are being turned into Boo 5, right? All the rewards, they're doing 100% of it. So that's why I'm joining this community, guys. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go to the Telegram.
I just got an idea. I don't know why that just reminded me of it. I'm like, I should totally use like the borrowing and lending application that I have. Like, I do like some borrowing and lending on Tron. Which is really similar to like traditional finance borrowing and lending, and they just pay me a bunch of tokens. They pay me like JST, BTT, TRX, and I think Ape NFT, and maybe WIN. It's like a bunch of tokens. They give you a bunch of tokens, Like it's little bits of a bunch of tokens, and I don't have a whole bunch of money. But if I had a whole bunch of money, the amount of tokens that they send me would be like, you know, that's like a salary or more. Like if I had a whole bunch of money. And it just reminds me again of like Squid Game, and like when the guy turns to him and he's like, "How did you make your money?" It's like, borrowing and lending. And it's like, yeah, because all he has to do is do that, and some bank or something like that's gonna pay him in United States dollars and Korean dollars and Japanese, like all these fucking currencies he can get. At least check this video out. I want to see you react to it. It's wild. His name is Bitfund Manager. Bro, that is not an actual name. Imagine someone talking about ETH in 2014. I mean, yeah, it just doesn't quite sound like that to me. There's too many of these other type of projects. It's not new tech right now. Like, I can't imagine that. It's just like not new technology. Because like I was hearing about Bitcoin in 2013 and stuff. So like, just it's not. That sounded interesting. This when it's a copy and built around scaling. That's the other thing you're talking about. If you're talking about finding ETH in 2000, like bro, this whole project is talking about scaling Ethereum, aka that's like me building an arcade. Not the money match gaming is not exciting and stuff like that, but like, oh, I want to help scale Discord. I'm not talking about anything else that I'm going to do, any other projects and stuff like that on top of me or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about how I'm scaling Discord. It's like, okay, so they can grow bigger? Like, that's not really that exciting. You got to say more. I think that's probably why their price is stuck where it's at. And it's going to take more than me. Again, it's on my radar. If it ever breaks, if it ever breaks direction and shows some momentum, I'll like actually be paying attention, and I'll be like, "Oh shit! I remember old boy was talking about that."
Discuss various topics, you know, just kicking it, whatever. And we also do airdrops on that as well. So tonight, for freestyle.
Okay, he's just doing a little airdrop. Don. He's gonna end it with drip. Yeah, he just ended with drip. I mean, that's all you gotta do is cover, you know, talk about drip every day. Drip is an amazing platform.
They are trying to fool you. They are trying to take your Bitcoin, guys. Today,
damn,
I'm going to show you.
He came in loud with that shit.
What you're watching right now is whales actually playing the market. Whales controlling what's happening here, and we're going to talk about.
I mean, we just watched that with Will Clemente. I think it's just Will Clemente. But I'm pretty sure he was just covering that, where he was like, "Yeah, this." I'm not sure if you guys noticed what he meant by that. He showed one part of his chart where, like, obviously everything was going downward, and then, which signified that the market was actually going up. And then there was a big spike of green, aka like trading volume, and it wasn't in spot trading, it was in perpetual trading, aka leverage trading, and then the market went down at that point in time. So that could indicate either one of two things, and most likely the later that I'm going to say. One would be that, you know, everybody, like people were just suddenly on that, like those few days, went into Bitcoin or whatever super hard and leveraged, and then also messed up because, you know, it just messed up that quickly. So they just went outside of their range of whatever percent they were allowed to go outside of, what have it be 5% or whatever, and then it went downward. Or a bunch of leverage traders were stacking up over time because people had been stacking up since around the $40,000 level. Oh, I'm going to add on to my leverage position. Oh, I'm going to add on to my leverage position. Oh, I'm going to jump into a leverage position. More and more adding up and adding up. And then during that big ass push of like that day where a whole bunch of money just came into the market on perpetual trades in a short amount of time, most likely that money came into the market in that short amount of time and shorted the market. It said, let's push the price downward. And then it closed all those leverage positions, and then so like if all they have to do is take a little bit of loss. If they have enough money, and they're like, we're gonna take like, you know, at least a 5% loss selling like this, and it's gonna start moving the market, and it might move the market down even more than that. Well, then they can potentially crash the market.
Sure to subscribe and activate the bell, because this is going to be a very, very important video.
Because then it goes down to like psychology and like people's ability to hold on.
I will explain this. I will back this up with data. So first things first, let's go and find support, and we have a bounce, but then just the sheer amount of volume continued to press Bitcoin down below this. You can see, look at these candles. These are very high volume candles here on the 1 hour.
And this is, he's talking about that high volume too.
So we went down, and then the bulls fought back. So the bulls fought back. We got a nice little rally here, but right at the edge of my orange box, we were not able to break through this. So the bears were able to defend this area. We tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We tried 5 times to get above and establish ourselves above the orange box here again. Unfortunately, markets, no.
Will was talking about a bigger time span though.
And I want to show you a clip from a couple of weeks ago where I talked about the Bitcoin whale ratio. So this is the Bitcoin whale ratio. We're going to get back to this. But, the video I posted a couple of, it was actually the 7th of November. I talked about the Bitcoin whale ratio here. At the same video, I talked about how what if the whales are preparing for this? What if? No, you have to still be cautious about this, right? So maybe the whales are aware of this and they're trying to play all of us. So that's the one thing to be cautious about. But I'm just hoping that the sheer amount of people who are going to enter crypto during November, but that is going to be enough to absorb whatever selling pressure by the whales here. So that was the video I posted November 7, and this ratio was looking like this.
Speaking of the November whale sale, like I feel like Hex made it. You know, I think Hex survived. I think we survived, man. I think we survived. Because Hex pretty much needed to make it through November. I imagine everybody who had Hex coming out in the early November, back around, let's see, right back, this is the nice time, and then people started selling the shit out of their Hex. They're like, oh no, Hex in November, it's going to be awful. And so this is the price that we get for Hex around early November. So everybody wants to take their profit, knowing that all these big Hex bags are going to come out. And what do the big Hex bags do? I think they only actually sell a little bit because they don't even need to sell a whole bunch. They have so much money. So I think they actually probably only sell a little bit of Hex, which is probably something like this dip that we saw from 27. And people were like, damn, went down to 16 or something. Like, well, the Hex bags probably finally sold. I think, honestly. But if they didn't need to sell that much money because, you know, it went up how much in the last two years? Especially if you staked for like 1 year, or a lot of people stake for more than 1 year with Hex. That was the crazy thing about it, right? It's up like 300,000%. Like, dude, these people are fucking wealthy. Those people are wealthy, bro. They don't need to sell all that. So they're probably selling like small portions of that, and if they stake the rest of it, that's just gonna be really bullish for Hex. So maybe Hex gets pump. Maybe we no go down more. Yay.
Okay, so the Bitcoin 25th of November, because everyone are bullish in November. Everyone are bullish in December. $60,000 is obviously 6 million.
Yeah.
This Bitcoin,
he got that is
public at least.
All right, there's like one more thing that I'm interested in going through. Oh, and then that one. What farms you got for me today? LA Crypto Mining, Mermaid Swab, not interested. Treat, not interested. Phantom Pup, not interested.
However, you gotta pay attention to everything that's running on that chain. One right now is definitely not doing so well. I think it's like 24 cents. Well, I'm not gonna see it right now, but I think it's like 24 cents or something. So, yeah, man, one's that chain's getting hammered pretty hard. But like I said, if reverse and fly on up, then you guys want to check it out. If not, like I said, don't worry about it.
All right.
Farming is what we got. Good luck on that too, you know. Anyways, man, basically for farming, so we'll be here. And before we get started, let's go ahead and check out the price chart. You guys can see Crow and Crow now. They seem to definitely be moving hand in hand, right?
Yeah, Crow not doing too bad.
Perfect. I said, all right, insane. So within the first day, we're definitely getting our deposit fee. That's kind of why I was trying to tell you guys gotta be real quick when it comes to these strong farms.
Yeah,
you guys know that
you gotta put that deposit fee, like, yeah, if you want to get your deposit fee back in a strong farm, and like, yeah, you can get it back in the first day when it's 4% deposit fee. If you jump in that farm first for 24, 48 hours, really the first day, and then anything after that, it's like, you make it back in a few days. But that's just super incentive to be like early as fuck to that farm. And if you're late, then, you know, you'll be making profit off of stuff, but like you probably want to be in there longer. The farm is not going to just die this month or something like that, most likely. And so it's incentive for those people to stay in. Oh shit, he got the Yield Wolf. They got Yield Wolf on CRO. Okay.
And I think this in here, what it's going to do is it's going to keep taking all the wind from your guys' harvest, and every once in a while when this is an auto compound, it'll actually sell this off, turn it into Corona, and then, you know, stake it right in here. I believe this was like 286, or I don't really remember how much that was, but as you guys can see right now, it's up. That's pretty chill. That's all that does. So like I said, you guys definitely are lazy, or you guys don't want to do any of that, well then you guys can drop that. They still have the 4% withdrawal fee, which is from Storm. And you guys read this, or you guys read the docs, you'll know how they're making their money.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Obviously, yes, if they play the same, I'm in both. I'm running both.
Cause that's my play too right now.
I definitely wanted to rock this and rock the other one. So
He said you put 1,000 down. I did not put 1,000 over there though.
Pro, whenever it pumps, if, you know, Pro's gonna pump equally or a little bit more, well, that's obviously a better play. That's kind of the similar play that I did with Phantom and Blue. But you guys are no sub. So, anyways, this was the farm that I'm basically bringing this whole video about, alright? Storm Swap.
He's like thought about doing like 1,000 worth of Bitcoin or something.
Check this one out, come down over here, click on more, docs.
That's like a lot of my Bitcoin.
Right? You already know what's up, so let me now switch, you guys want to check it out. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it for Chrono. So, like I said, no Chrono swaps. Not sleep on Chrono, right? Trust me when I say I know it's dropping.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Whenever this Pro drops.
Yeah, I think this is the one. I think Corona swap is the one.
Obviously, USDT or, you know, AVAX is better. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, farmers only is tag, like I said, come over here, pick that up. Right now, it's still fluctuating between 1,000 and like 13. So, you guys can pick it up cheap. You guys will be alright. You guys are no sub. So, yeah, I mean, if this is your guys' tag, you guys already know what to do, alright? And on AVAX, shout out to the Dragon's Lair team, man. This bad boy keeps pumping, alright? Definitely, you know, I'm kind of bummed that I missed out the whole AVAX pump. However, these guys brought my bag back and basically brought me back over a grand. So, shout out to the team, keep this fun. Other one you guys have right here is Honeybee. Right now, Honeybee's down on a dip, so we'll suggest you guys wait it out, see if that downtrend ends, and, you know, just try to jump on an uptrend. And then if not, you know, it is what it is. Obviously, you can never. You guys already know something, but that's basic routine, so you know, just want to do motions and, you know, figure some stuff out. You get, you guys have an F cup, gets you to the reversal, it's strong, and, you know, shoots on up. Trust me, you want to be in there. Besides that, you guys also have a trick.
Nope, yeah, he's just running back through shit.
Right? Everything I know, you know, by heart. These guys are from all around the world, which means they're up 24/7. So no matter what time it is, no matter what country you guys got.
That was that. Last one.
This is like third.
Crypto Talker Thomas G.
Crypto Talker Thomas G. Yeah, bring it.
We'll do more content about that later, but we're gonna get involved with a major token coming up soon, a project. I'm gonna be just market cap. We were just at $2.6 trillion market cap, $42 trillion market cap. You know, right? I mean, right when we hit 1 trillion market cap, you know, we had these what they call correction. Bitcoin could tank Bitcoin. BTC was $100 to $1,000. So think about that. You know, a strong mindset. Just not worried about that type of stuff. I just take advantage of buying and buying for the long term. And, you know, what I can make on short term plays, I do. And it is what it is if it happens. But I have enough in stable coins. I'm at that point to, you know, cash out and be like, yo, man, they're getting their money next week. I'm out. I'm getting out of crypto. I'm always 70-30, meaning like 70% of my portfolio is in stable coins. And I'm, you know, cashing out weekly. It benefits me. It's finding. So, you know, I'm putting it into the circles right now where it's earning me wrapped Phantom at 23%. So the reward's 500 Phantom per day. I'm at 23%. I'm getting over 100 tokens per day. I get that wrapped Phantom and I sell that. I did a video on this the other day. Sell it in a compound. If I can get this right here to 30%, I'm getting 150 wrapped Phantom per day. That's great passive income. And then was at over $1 million. That's at 166,000. So I imagine the price of BBS will continue to drop with crazy rewards because whales are in. It'll stabilize eventually. I think the same thing. I'm taking the same thing with Chrono over here. I'm in this live pool action, single staking, and that's where I like to keep myself. Yesterday this was like worth $3,300. Now it's worth $2,500. But when the market gets its act together, and everything goes back up. You know, Chrono's maybe go back over $4 or $5, and then I bring more and more tokens because APR shooting back up because people are jumping ship. So holding on to that. That's how I set myself up to make the $6,000 to $8,000 per day. Though. You gotta understand, guys. I've been building those accounts on all the yields, pretty $1 trillion market cap. Even and on those dips, when we hit new all-time highs, I just go into those yield farms or those staking vaults, and I would just buy more tokens and add, and then it goes up. You go up with the price, plus you're yielding more at a higher percentage because your pool percentage goes up. So that's our market cap. Even and on those dips, when we hit new all-time highs, I just go into those yield farms or those staking vaults, and I would just buy more tokens and add, and then it goes up. You go up with the price, plus you're yielding more at a higher percentage because your pool percentage goes up. So I mean, that's just the name of the game for me, to be honest with you. Let's look at the price of Pro token. The Chronos Network, you know, they just crypto.com just. And then whatever they had to get into, that 20 thing I talked about as far as I wanted to bring to the table a solid pick for a long-term hope because I'm a true believer in this metaverse madness. So, which brings me to NFT.io. Because it's not a video about Jetstar, it's showing you like NFT, and it's 85 cents, so we're still about 20 cents up in plus from where we bought it. This has to do with NFTs and metaverse. I'm all about NFT and metaverse, and then the pre-sale. You can go do your research on this, and you'll know about it because it's not a video about Jetstar, just showing you like VIP stuff. Like, you know, this is something that was my first thing I talked about as far as I wanted to bring to the table a solid pick for a long-term hope because I'm video soon. Money's worth because we're gonna end 2022 with a bang. We got some more special stuff coming up before the new year, so we'll do it again.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
that was just like a straight meme pick.
Epic series, which is showing you how to turn $500 into $100,000. Now, obviously, we can't do that in one day and in one video, but this is going to be obviously a long and fully documented.
Jeebus, he's gonna try to claim that. Okay. Oh man, yeah, that's not smart. I was like, I don't know if you try to run over a snowman, bro. You can fuck yourself up. Appalachian program. Oh shit. Alright, let's go back to this real quick.
That network gonna be worth something. People start transacting the tokens, it's gonna be worth something. People start using the blockchain, it's gonna be worth something. You thinking about Bitcoin, you thinking about the USDC, you get lost. You missing the whole point. Who cares about the USDC copies?
He's too smooth, brain. Crypto insults.
What coin will I earn?
Snowball. You
I
in
don't know what it'd be
Ocean?
called.
Like
It'd probably be
time,
called, like-
climb a snow. I'm in Snowball.
I would say
Or
close,
Snowbank.
but whatever they call it.
Let's see how Snowbank's doing. Snowbank up 20%. Probably took a big dip yesterday though.
Post
Did it?
armor. Oh, it's like a.
It did not.
It's like one of those.
Yeah, this is supposed to be. It said within the first week it was supposed to give me 100% return, but then everything dipped so much. I just like left it in the auto compounding thing. Like fuck it, you know what? It should. This number should go back up. The entire market's gonna dip down, and if this thing does what it's supposed to do, it should do some stuff.
Minutes here.
I mean, bro, unsubscribe then. Like you won't say shit about who you are.
Nope.
So long, K Bowser.
Maybe it's on Dex Guru.
Like, fam, that sounds super sketchy. Like, you just want people to click links or some shit. I'm like, it's a project that's not really going anywhere. It's got no information.
Well, it's one of those.
It's got a million fucking coins. It doesn't look good. I don't know how it's supported at like 30 cents. Probably because nobody wants to sell it.
Have fun.
Like, if you sell it, it's just gonna cost you money.
I mean,
just
if
leave
they
the
got a
bag.
website or something, I'll check it out, but I don't think so. Only heard it from one person so far.
All right, that's it from Dre. Good shit, Dre. Okay, going into the music section, and it's game time. Game time. Game time. Game time. Game time. Game time.
That's a hex flex, making money, yeah, we going by the X's. Yeah, hex, all we know about is excess. Turn a Fiat on ramp to an expressway. That's a hex flex, hey, that's a hex flex. Making money, yeah, we going by the X's. Yeah, hex, all we know about is excess. Turn a Fiat on ramp to an expressway. That's a hex flex, hey, yeah, we up next. Shut up with that scam mess.
Actually, I think what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna stop everything too, so that I can totally reset this, and come back up with something a little more Halo title.